What's going on, everyone, from LowKick MMA? My name is Dan Podolsky, and I'm joined with Korey Kuppe. He is set to return to the PFL Smart Cage on August 23rd when he takes on Mostafa Rashad Neda. Korey, thank you so much for taking the time.
How you doing today?
Doing great. And, just first off, 8 days out. When do you leave for New York, and how's training been going?
I'm leaving on Saturday. So Saturday I'm gonna get there. Quick flight. So I got like an hour and a half flight. I think my opponent's got like a 22-hour flight from Saudi Arabia. So um yeah, so I can't complain about the travel. And training's been going amazing. It's violent. It's rough. Like this is everyone always says this is like their best training camp. It's like the big thing everybody says, but this is actually one of the only training camps, real training camps I've had like notice for a big fight. Most the opportunities I've gotten the last time I fought with PFL was a day's notice, and then I knew like 8 days out that I might be a substitute. And then contender series during the pandemic, I don't know what that was, like 3.5 weeks or something, but like not a lot. Um, but yeah, so this has been amazing. Like I feel so good. So all I can do is like I know this is the best version of myself. I'm the biggest, strongest, fastest, meanest, best conditioned athlete I've ever been in my life, like leading up to next Wednesday. So um we're on target.
And how much of a difference does that make, just getting a full camp versus, you said 1 day, 3 days notice?
Yeah, obviously like I stay ready and I love to fight, so like I'm down to fight whenever. But when you're fighting top tier competition, like the last time my last loss, he's in the semifinals for PFL coming up, Carlos Leo, and that's a tough guy right there, right? Like that guy beats most guys in the world, and when you're coming in on a day's notice with no video, no game plan, and anything, like it's kind of just like I don't know. It's not the same. I'm a very we were talking about before the thing. I coach MMA fighters, and I I I like to look at myself as like a high IQ fighter, and yeah, having time to strategize and work particular things is it's big, especially like against an opponent like Carlos Leo, like give me the right strategy for that fight. So, um,
Have you gotten to watch the footage on, your upcoming opponent, and what gives you the advantage over him?
Yeah, I dissected them a little bit in the beginning, and then I went away from it, and then I had some team do it, and then we're gonna relook at it. But what gives me the advantage over him is just a lot of things. But what I will say is good about him is he is a fighter. He's a killer. He's not looking to hold on for points. I think he has two decision wins, and all the rest of them are finishes and stoppages, and mostly in the first round. So he goes for it and he shoots fire. So that for me is good because that gives me more openings. It's a lot harder to put people away when they're just moving away, covering up, and shooting body locks and stuff like that, shooting low single legs to avoid the striking exchanges. But what gives me the advantage is a lot of things. The range, I'm 6'5", he's 5'10". He likes to sit outside and strike. I'm a multiple time sport karate world champion, so that is my game to play. And we're in a big cage at the PFL, so I can sit outside and snipe. My speed, I normally fought at 170 pounds, and then I've been fighting up at 185 pounds. I think over 170, I think my record's 9-1 with a win against the one, if I'm right, or 8-1 with a win against the one. But I'm fucking fast. Like I'm fast. I got that style. I got that special stuff where special sizzle I call it, where like I'm different than most MMA fighters just with my style, just with that Wonder Boy type and Michael Venom Page, Raymond Daniels bounce on my foot. So my speed at 185 pounds is really something else. And then my jiu-jitsu ability, I have 9 submission finishes. In the pros, he has no finishes, and he's been submitted once. So I know that my striking causes people to panic. And when they panic, they shoot, they clinch for their life. Like one of my losses contender series, that guy was scared for his life. He was just holding on. He's like, fuck a contract, dude. I'm not getting knocked out in front of the world. It is what it is, right? So like that jujitsu might be the factor here, or it's just gonna be what I've been doing since I'm a baby, fucking people up with hard strikes and hitting people with sweet shit, not getting hit back. Put on a little Sports Center top 10 on a Wednesday. All I gotta do is beat out baseball. What's cooler, guys hitting balls with sticks or me driving a fucking roundhouse into a brain, you know?
I mean, my personal vote would go for the roundhouse, but
Right.
yeah. And you mentioned, your opponent coming out fast, but you yourself, you finished all 11 of your wins, 2 knockouts, 9 submissions. Is it safe to say this one's probably not going the distance?
No, no. People always ask me like about betting and stuff. Like yeah, they're like, how do you think it's gonna go? I'm like, I have no idea, but always bet me to win inside the distance would be my advice because all my wins are by finish and I have finishing fucking firepower. And I've been the guys I didn't finish are really, really, really good fighters that don't get finished either. And I have reason to believe that they were just on like crazy amounts of supplements too. So like I can finish motherfuckers, and it makes it a lot easier when you got guys that are going for the finish as well. So yeah, always bet me by finish, and yeah, it can be any round though. It can be any round. Like I'm locked in right away. I have the fight after Leo. I had a 7 second head kick KO. They don't have that right on Tapology, but it was a 7 second head kick KO. I'm locked into those early exchanges. I'm ready to hit people with shit like right away. So if he comes crashing, he's gonna run into fucking something really hard, and then but like as the fight goes, like seeing that most of his wins are in the first round and stuff. Um, I went. I've been the distance a bunch of times, but I was in 5 round. I beat Kenny Cross in a 5 round championship title fight that I got ready for. I won another regional title where I was in a 5 round fight, but I had 2 cancellations where I trained for 5 round fights. So I'm ready to fucking put a cardio pace on him like he's never fucking seen in his life. Um, and like that's not necessary. And I out cardioed a freak of nature, and that Kenny Cross, he's amazing. My next fight against JP St. Louis, I had him gassed right away, and that's at 170 against some guys. So like this guy's been fighting up with like slower paces and stuff. So I do know that he needs to be calculated with his storm because if he does bring an early storm and uses a lot of energy, it's just going to be fucked up for him in the deep water. And that's just something like I got ready to go. My top training partner is one of my fighters that I train, Tyler Grimsley. He's a 155 pounder. Um, and he probably has the best cardio in the world. He's a college All American wrestler, 6-0 right now, 6 stoppages. If you watch his fights, his pace is just fucking terrible. Like it's sickening. Like he just melts people, right? So I wrestle with that motherfucker every single day because it's not even about like one, he feels like a fucking Dagestani. He feels stronger than every fucking light heavyweight, every heavyweight and that you feel, but it's about the pace. Like he can keep shooting on me nonstop, fucking forever, 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 forever. And then my biggest weakness on paper coming off of Contender Series 3 years ago, right? When you're looking at stuff, you're dissecting it, it's wrestling, right? People look at me as a strong striker with strong jiu-jitsu, and then they look at like the physicality of me being tall and skinny, and then the wrestling. So those are the upgrades that I've been making is the wrestling. The wrestling is highly upgraded, and the strength of me going up to 185 pounds, even though I'm not going to be just like huge, huge at 185 pounds. I'm pretty fucking big, and for me being as long and lean as I am, I think at 170, it took a little bit too much of like eating the muscle away. You know, I had to fast all the time and it was harder. Like I can still make 170 and be big, but that I feel fucking really locked in and good at this weight class.
Mhm. And you've mentioned a lot. I was gonna ask, you're fighting at 85 for this fight. In the long run, do you see yourself at 85? Is that your home, or could you see yourself going back down to 70?
I could see either. Like some of the 70s are really like they're tiny compared to me. I feel like that's hindered me on getting short notice matchups with like short notice UFC fights and stuff because when people call, because I've been like fucking ready a million times, but when people get called out short notice, like I'm a very hard stylistic opponent from a style standpoint of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu and karate background, and from a frame standpoint, I'm a 6'5" guy that switches stances, can do a lot of weird shit. So like yeah, I feel I feel I can do either weight class, to be honest with you, but the 70s are small as fuck. Like they're really small. And the 85s aren't that big either. Like I have a video next to the guy Bo Nickel fought a couple of weeks ago because I was trying to get the Bo Nickel fight, and
Mhm.
I'm literally almost a whole foot taller than him. Like he's up to my belly button. Like it's almost comical. Like so like a lot of the guys like yeah, size wise I can really handle them, but I'm also big enough at 85 that I don't think it's a problem. So, I think like Adesanya said he walks like I'm like a slightly smaller, like I'm like 3 pounds smaller than Adesanya. I got the same build as him, you know. So I'm like I like 185 pounds too because I feel like they're slower and speed is a fucking hell of a fucking weapon.
Mhm. And this will be your second time competing under the PFL banner. Are you hoping to maybe compete in the regular season next year in the actual tournament? PFL doesn't have an 85 division, maybe at 170, or is this just like a one-off fight for you? And what's your relationship with the PFL like?
So I love PFL. I think it's a sweet promotion. And they're doing big things. Like obviously, if you look at all the stuff they're doing, people are talking about them buying Bellator. Um, and I obviously 100% like I took the fight, one fight contract. I was in Vegas trying to weasel onto the fucking UFC because I knew Trayshawn Gore was gonna pull out, and I knew fucking shit was gonna happen, and I was ready. So anyway, so like that day, I got a call about this PFL fight for a one fight contract. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. So um, we're rolling a one fight contract, and I'm gonna fucking show my value. I'm gonna show that I'm one of the most exciting, badass motherfucking American snipers this world's ever seen. And yeah, I looked at the bracket. Where's the 185 tournament? They don't have any 185ers. So technically, I'm fucking the new number one PFL. It's me versus this guy. I'm gonna fuck him up. And then Jake Paul's in our division. So Jake Paul, come fucking get it, right? Let's smack up the Disney boy real quick before he learns how to fucking kick or grapple, and um yeah, and then we'll fuck that motherfucker up. So that's an option. Like I don't know what they're doing. If they do a $185 million tournament, I'll fucking jump in there. But if they need an opponent for Jake Paul, I'm fucking sign me up. That's the fucking shit right there. Like I'm gonna fuck up that robot, kick him in the fucking leg, beat that fucking boy's ass. But that would be sweet. But if not, like if I just do the fight and like I don't hear from them for a little bit, I have like one of the best manager. I think the best manager in the world, Jason House. So I'm gonna fucking spinning fucking wheel kick this guy, and if I don't have an offer, I'm gonna have them hit up the UFC and tell them like, yo, it's go time. Like sign me up. Because I watched the prelims, bro. There's some fucking dog shit. Like I almost feel like they like actually like sometimes pick people like way shittier than other people just to like propel people from certain countries almost. Because I watch some guys, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this?
Mhm.
How am I watching you on the UFC right now? And I'm out here getting ducked on the fucking regional scene by everyone and their mother 10 times through. Just like I had to sit out 10 months before my last fight just because like I couldn't get any fights
Mhm.
on the regional level. They're like, fuck that shit. I'm not fighting that lunatic for $700.
What do you count that to? Not getting the bigger fights.
Uh, well, the littler fights I get why those guys don't want to fight me, but then like the bigger fights, like I fucked up. I fucked up on Contender Series when I should have won that fight. I was better. I'm a more skilled martial artist than that guy, but I needed to make my adjustments. And then I went on a little run, and then I end up in a day's notice in a PFL bracket where I like hit on my brother. I'm like, dude, I fuck up all these guys because I was the alternate. I watched everyone train all day the whole week. I'm like, I fuck up all these guys besides the Brazilian, like right through them. They're fucking trash. Like two of them were like had 3 fights and shit. And I'm like watching these guys. The guy that ended up winning the show, that guy from Jordan, he's been getting knocked out every fight now. I was like, fucking, the guy who got his orbital broken, he turned down fighting me before that. And I'm just like, dude, I fucked these guys up. This is cool. This Brazilian guy, I'm like, he's a fucking animal. So I'm like hyping him up to my brother. I'm like, I saw this guy like 200 pounds with back knee goiters just fucking hitting the pads for 4 hours straight, screaming. I'm like, if I fight him, it's going to be a fucking war. So sure as fuck in the morning, who am I fighting? I'm fighting him, right? Because I fucking put that out there. And surely it wasn't a fucking war. It was a shitty fight by me. But that shit set me back another 2 fights. So now it's like it's hard to get local fights when we have small, like low budget shows not offering people any money. So if you're like a up and coming prospect, you don't want to come to Detroit and bring me in. If you're a fucking up and coming prospect in fucking New Hampshire and you're 5-0 with a padded record, you're not gonna fucking bring me in. Some fucking pissed off fucking guy who should have been at the top already. You know, so like who's dangerous as fuck. And like even if you're the best wrestler, like if you're the best wrestler, like if you're Bo Nickel, you're the best wrestler. How are you gonna lose? How is Bo Nickel gonna? How would Bo Nickel possibly get knocked off his pedestal, or someone of that nature? Of all these wrestlers, they would A, get head kicked, which is what I do. B, get kneed in the fucking head, which is what I do. Or C, get submitted with jujitsu on the way in with guillotines. Or D, get fucked up by a guard, which the guard's non-existent in fucking MMA anymore. There nobody fucking does guard but me. I fucking no one even knows how. Fucking the girls know how. The guys don't know how to do guard anymore. And like there are some, but like not many. So if you don't get defense against it either. And then I do 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. I have a Dead Orchard TKO on fucking LFA. Nobody even knows what a fucking Dead Orchard is. Most people, they don't even fucking know what's going on in the real ass fucking grappling world. So that's why I got avoided by all the wrestlers and I couldn't find fights. Like Austin Vanderford turned down a fight with me before. Like I got a list of these motherfuckers. I've gone full years of getting turned down, and it's not even the fact that they couldn't beat me. I'm like, these guys are bad motherfuckers. I bet on these guys. Like they're badass dudes. They could totally beat me, but it's the danger factor. It's the risk factor. If you fight a normal kickboxer, they all you got to do is ground them and you win. You know, they have no threat. They have no threat of fucking anything.
And so looking at where you've competed before, do you feel like if you can get this win, this is the biggest win of your career, and that, a win on the PFL stage is a bigger stage than you would have had a win before?
Yeah, yeah. Stage wise, it's beautiful. Stage wise, it's beautiful. I believe some of the guys I've beaten are really fucking good. But it wasn't on this stage, so I believe this stage will be really big. The platform, ESPN on a Wednesday. ESPN on a Wednesday. The other guys are fighting for $1 million too. Like a lot of them are gonna be me. I don't know how good the fights are gonna be, but I wrote down when I was a kid. I would write down all the time that I was going to be on Sports Center top 10. I would tell like every teacher would make you write your shit. And I'd be like, I'm going to be a pro athlete and I'm going to be on Sports Center top 10 and blah, blah, blah. And they'd always be like, well, you're going to need to have a backup plan. And blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, maybe I didn't, but I didn't know it was going to be from fighting. But yeah, Sports Center top 10 is like one fucking click away. And I feel like that's what I need. That's what I need. I'm ready to break through with like just like some elaborate fucking knockouts and just fucking do some sweet shit. So the platform is fucking brilliant because so many people get to see you that wouldn't have any idea that you exist.
And looking at the long term, what are your goals for MMA? Is it to get back to the UFC? Is it to, be a PFL champion? Where do you see yourself in the long run?
Yeah, all of it. I'll do it all. Like I fucking a perfect fucking world. I knock this guy out cold. I fucking fight Jake Paul, knock him out cold, and then go to the UFC and go all the way to the fucking title, right? Wouldn't that be fucking great? Um, late career redemption. No, but I'm definitely in my peak right now. Like I'm literally pulling up into my prime of my skill set, and my style is really fucking weird. It wasn't as easy as like just like some of these wrestlers had transitions. I was the skinniest motherfucker in the world with a sport karate style, so I had to develop a different grappling game, and it took some time. But I think we going to the ship. I'm trying to fight the biggest fights, make the most money, fucking, and I want to put on for the fucking people, dude. I fucking hate when I fucking see boring ass fights. Like I could just name boring ass fighters like for like an hour. We could go back and forth. That like people should be watching instead of me. Instead, I was like fucking like so happy I could fight at the local fucking casino instead of get ducked for a full fucking year. You know, like this shit. It's just like I'm just really fucking pissed off. Like I'm really fucking pissed off at the game. I'm really pissed off that I fucked up my opportunity to get in the UFC 3 years ago. I'm really fucking pissed off that I fucking got fucked up by Carlos Leo's fucking juice head bitch ass fucking on one day's notice. fuck that motherfucker, dude. If I fight that guy again, if I fight in the 70 tournament next year and under USADA and I fucking fight him in the finals, that would be movie type shit. Fucking head kick dead. Fuck that guy. But yeah, fuck that guy. That guy slowed up my shit. And then fuck everyone. I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed off at these little ass fucking people in my division. I'm fucking pissed off at everybody. So pissed off at myself. So I'm just like one fight at a time. I'm taking this fucking fight. Like this is the fight of my fucking life. I'm fighting for my fucking career. Like that's how I'm looking at it. So yeah, this is my showcase fight and I'm gonna decapitate him. I'm gonna knock him out fucking cold and submit him or knock him out cold or drop him and fucking submit him. But I'm gonna cut right through him and then fucking whoever's next. I want to fight the best fucking people.
Fair enough. We certainly don't lack the motivation. And
Yes, sir.
usually I love to ask fighters, who have been your main training partners. But with you, you own and run McCollum Martial Arts. How is that for you? Not only being at the gym, a smaller gym, but owning it, training fighters, and then training for your own fight.
Yeah, it works out really good because we don't have a million fucking guys yet. The guys and girls we got are really good. We have a small niche crew, and then but we have a giant gym. We have a lot of young up and coming guys. We have a lot of cross styles. We have top boxers. So like I sparred my boy Kamal. He's number 9 cruiserweight in the country. Boxing at 195. So we got guys like that. Like I would never have been like doing boxing sparring, like leading up to fights like that. But to get to face a fucking sniper like him, like that was an asset. And then like we got killers. Like my brother, we have the fucking brother rounds and we're almost the same size. So like um he's just a killer and he knows all my shit and he's so fast, dude. But like he's always good, but he got injured right before a couple of weeks ago. Actually we were sparring and a freak thing happened. But yeah, and then I have a 4-0 guy who's like 215 right now, Alex. Who he's a military guy. He's coming back from injuries. He had some like surgery he had to take care of and stuff. But he he's an animal. So I've been having that guy. That guy's like what's he's 6 foot, 6 foot one, 215, and he's a wrestler and he used to train out in like Washington with I think like the Terrence McKinney crew and those guys back out there and he's a dog. So those are probably some of my best assets. But I have like the cool thing is I used to go with everybody when we were in a smaller gym. Now we're in a huge gym where we have tons of classes. So I kind of just go with like when I'm in my camp, I go with the hardest fucking people. Like I set it up, and then when people go with me, like they're trying to fuck me up. They're trying to take me out. Like they fucking love it. Like the guys I go with, like they want my head. And then I got like 0-0 guys and brand new guys all the time, like getting ready to go that I've been training for some years. And those guys are coming at me too. So everybody's coming at me and it's good. It's good stuff. But I do feel like remember the name Tyler Grimsley. He'll probably be making his UFC debut soon. And oh my God. Like the pace and the fucking mental fucking toughness that I've gotten from going with that motherfucker. And like when I'm getting him ready as a coach, like I'm getting this guy ready. One, he's 11-0 overall. His fights are damn near flawless. Whenever he makes mistakes, we tune those up. But we have like he's our best fighter. Like we have a whole ass fucking team of motherfuckers making sure he's ready to go, right? Where some of these guys they're just in the sparring room, right? We have a whole team making sure that guy's ready to go, but that guy makes sure the whole team's ready to go because he's the freaking never leaves the mats until everybody's done, and he'll literally break everybody to the point of like so like just dealing with that guy's mental fortitude and like getting in like fights, like me and him just fight. Like when he gets ready for his fights too, like that's been part of his development is like as a college wrestler is like his coach fucking fights him every day, like damn near every day I fucking fight him. And if he has holes, I'm gonna fuck him up. Like I'm gonna go. So like good luck submitting that motherfucker because that motherfucker he'd been doing 5 years of fucking warfare with me and then what rubbed off on what like it's actually crazy because out of everything the striking, like you watch, he fights with my striking style. Jiu-jitsu, like he fights with me, and Connor's, my brother's an amazing fucking at teaching the 10th planet system, and we're under Adelaide, Cleveland. And but he actually took me to the next level because of that wrestling gear that he's developed. He was known for breaking people in the deep water in college wrestling. So getting like once he caught up to the MMA level that I'm on, like as far as striking and jiu-jitsu, now it's fucking just like, yeah, he taught me. Like it came back around full circle. Like your fucking top fucking samurai taught you how to fucking be way more of a fucking samurai when it comes to the deep water grind. So that's beautiful. That'll get spliced and cut one day.
And, and unlike a bigger gym where you might just be like another guy in training, what does that do for your gym when you have someone, whether it's Korey Kuppe or it's Tyler Grimsley or it's your brother? What does it do for your gym when one of you guys is fighting and all the attention can just be put on you?
It's sweet. It's sweet. Like that's how I always wanted it to be. Like I was even saying the other day, like, dude, if I traveled, like I used to go to TriStar. We went to TriStar and used to train. We've been to a whole bunch of places, right? But like when I travel before Contender Series, I went to James Krause's. When you travel, you're tired, and like, dude, it ain't the same. Like we build the champ camp here, right? Like we can have like I have people coming in to like work on my body. Like we got everything deployed here. And then we're like we're most small gyms like miss the mark too is they don't have anything in the hole, a lot of them, as far as like why are you gonna beat everybody? So like why how are you gonna beat everybody? So like what we have in the hole coming with is one 10th planet jiu-jitsu, fucking high level 10th planet jiu-jitsu. That is a big thing because a lot of people are lacking grappling. And then what we have in the hole is we have a fucking striking style that people don't know how to deal with. Like when you watch my amateurs fight and shit, like it's fucking people are clueless out there on how to deal with our style. So when you look at like I like to compare us to like city kickboxing, like how they came out of nowhere. Who the fuck were they 6 years ago, you know? And we have like a whole like we have the biggest kids program in our state. We have just kids doing everything and we're gonna have a lot of guys coming up. It's just a matter of like and like I like everyone being like from our gym too. Like I don't like want to be like yeah, I got 70 fighters and I get to run around the country every weekend. Like, nah, dude, like I'm trying to train people that are trying to be champion. So otherwise I just don't put them in fights. So it actually works out pretty good. And then yeah, I'm trying to develop my own guys too. I hate fucking guys from other gyms. They fucking suck. They like, and then you have to go corner them and they get knocked out. And then the other teams like think they finally got you. And I'm just like, that's not even really my fucking guy, dude. He got here like fucking 3 weeks ago with a sob story, and I feel bad, you know? So like I like developing my guys. Like I got kids out here that are like starting since they're kids with me. They've been training like 9, 10 years. Like they're gonna be getting ready to go here. Like those are the guys I like because like now they are a reflection of my teaching. So I'm
Well,
kind of like that as a coach. I think the guy I'm fighting is a coach too in Saudi Arabia.
I say, well, what do you enjoy more? Is it fighting, being the fighter, or is it coaching and seeing your other guys develop?
I don't know. I like it all. I like everything MMA. I like coaching people that want to be excellent, and like I definitely think that I can help a lot of people. And I think like even as like a supplementary coach, like I would be really good. Like I think like with the just how I can teach people how to move and evade and do certain things. There's actually a lot of grapplers that should probably fucking come to our gyms. Learn some shit, but um I don't know. I love seeing my fighters win, but also like I got that competitive desire where like I know I know what I'm capable of, and I love being in the arena. So it's a it's a double-edged sword. I like it both. I like them both. My
Okay.
favorite person to corner is Tyler though, because he just fucks people up the whole time, and you just like they're like He's breaking already. You just to let him know when he's breaking. Usually after first round, he's like he's already breaking. And you're just like, fuck yeah. Sweet. Fuck him up. Where like the girls and stuff, it's different. Like they be in wars, just like abandoning game plans, and so that's a cool thing. And it's cool to learn the psychology of like every single person needs a different psychology and stuff. So it's cool to like really like get a deeper understanding of how people's brains operate.
Well, Korey, I'm wishing you the best of luck. And just my final question, August 23rd, Korey Kuppe, your opponent, give me your official prediction.
The official prediction is going to be a first round KO. It's going to be a first round KO. Yeah, it's going to be a big one too. But if not, we're going to take him into the deep water and we're going to fucking break him and fucking take him out by any means necessary. Um, we would have to do a whole nother hour podcast if I listed every single weapon that I have ready to fucking go that can finish a fight. Every shot in the book off the left side, the right side, every fucking submission in the game. So all I got to do is not get hit with any big shit, stay smart, stay calculated, get the job done, and then it's off to the races. We're coming for everybody.
Well, Korey, and I can't get through this interview without shouting out you got some of the best glasses in the game. And
Hold on, we'll get them back on. Oh, thank you.
of course.
I love the sunglasses. And shout out to my sponsor, Kendra Lust. Boom. Thank you. She's a G. She's out there training right now.
Guys, Korey Kuppe returns to the PFL Smart Cage on August 23rd when he takes on Mostafa Rashad Neda. Korey, thank you so much for taking the time. If you got anyone else you want to shout out, here's your chance.
No, just shout out my brother, my team of up and comers, and pretty much 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Adelaide, Cleveland, everyone that helped me come up, and then just like fuck everybody else, especially in my weight class. I'm coming for you, and then the other weight classes, I got goons coming for you too. So my goon squad's fucking scarier than I am because they're fucking born into this war. So let's go.
Fair enough. Well, wishing you the best of luck, and thank you so much for taking the time, Korey.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.